Not only do we have to endure code switching for work, because all of us work in some form of customer service. Not only do we have to endure changing our speech patterns for work, we have to do it in everyday conversation out and about when we're just out in public. Because if we say the wrong thing, or we sound the wrong way, or I say, hey, what up, my nigga, from a distance, somebody might take that the wrong way. If I say, hey, what's good, fam, from a distance, somebody might take that the wrong way. Somebody might automatically be scared of me. People have been clutching their goddamn purses around me since I was 9 years old, man. 9. So, like, you don't get to say that we make this stuff up. You don't get to tell us what the experience is. Just like as men, we don't tell women what they should feel. And men shouldn't tell women what they should feel about these situations. So you don't get to tell us as black people what we should be feeling, how we should be reacting, and what we should and shouldn't be saying. It's not the way this works.
It's even just situations like in some of the Cajuns posts in the past I've seen, like it's just from situations where you're minding your own damn business, we have to worry about that too. I can recall, man, I just thought of another story. Bro, this was back when I was doing a video project for my, I think, was it Media Production Techniques? I'm trying to think what class it was. I was at the University of Akron. I was still in school at the time. This is 2011. And I came home one weekend, me and my partners and myself, and then like 2 or 3 of my other friends, because they were helping me with this project. 2 or 3 of my other friends that live in Cleveland. I think my partners had left, and then my other two guys who I was with, we were just going over the footage for the day from the on my front stoop, just sitting in the driveway. I'm looking at stuff on my front stoop, just looking at the stuff we did for the day on the camera, and all of a sudden, a police car pulls up. Once again, another black cop. I think it was a white cop with him, but it was another black cop. And he came out and he said, is you guys having a party over here or something? I said, no, we're working on a school project. Well, whatever you do, keep it down. We got reports of a party. I said, there's nothing to keep down. We didn't do anything. And then he walks away for a minute, him and his partner, and they go like 2 doors down. It's actually at this one guy's house I went to high school with, this white dude. And he's talking to the lady, I guess that was his mom. He's talking to her and he's got the flashlight. He flashes it on us like 3 times. At this point, I was like, what the fuck? I called my mom and told her to come outside. She came outside in her robe and she was pissed. She said, excuse me, is there a problem? Like, these kids are from the University of Akron, even though I was the only Akron student that was there because everybody else had left. And then now he's all polite. So, we got reports of a party or whatever. One of my neighbors, who probably who he was talking to, they called the police on us just for being out fucking side at 8:30 at night. Because it was around that period of time where it's starting to get dark.
Dusky, but not quite dark.
Yeah, well, it's like in the spring, so it's starting to get darker later, but it was still dark at that point. And he accused us of having a party. He kept telling us to keep it down, and he was rude. Like, he was just fucking rude for no reason. Like, trying to like bait us into like arguing with him or something.
They look for a fight, so they have a reason.
Like, what happened? Like protect and serve is just a fucking lie. Like,
it is.
Like,
it's not protect and serve is not a statement for us.
It's like not. It's the barricade shit. Punish and enslave. That's exactly what it is.
It is. It is. And this is what I mean. And this was the entire point behind the idea of it could have been me. Is y'all never know what could have happened to the people you call friend. You never know who could have been in the position of George Floyd, who could have been in the position of Ahmaud Arbery, who could have been in the situation of Breonna Taylor, who could have been in the position of Rashad Brooks. That could have been anybody. That could have been anybody that's involved with this project right now. It could have been any of us.
You have no idea, like, all the emotions that you go through. It's like so fucking many. Luckily, like, by the grace of God, I'm still here. I don't know or even care if anybody else believes in. You do what you do. But by the grace of God, I'm still here. Like, it's been several times where I could have just wound up dead for no fucking reason.
Right.
Just for being myself and trying to exist and mind my own. Like, I don't understand this whole age of people not even being able to mind their own fucking business, first of all.
Right.
But I'm still here. But the emotions you go through, let me tell you, it's anger. you're scared. You feel helpless. You definitely feel like these people are going to get in trouble because they're they're the people that's supposed to make people get in trouble. And it just hurts. Overall, it just hurts.
It's sad, and people don't realize it. Is we wake up, honestly, I wake up every day when I have to leave the house thinking, is today going to be the day that somebody calls the cops on me for living my life and I don't make it home to my daughter? Is today going to be that day? When this is tough. This is tough for me to say. I always get fucked up when I think about this. The video of George Floyd's brother with his daughter on his shoulders, where she said at one of the first peaceful protests, "My daddy changed the world." All I see when I watch that video is my brother, you two, Jeannie, my mom, my dad, my stepdad, my stepmom, with Layla, because something happened to me, and that fucking kills me, and people don't understand it. People don't understand why it hurts so much to put myself in that situation, because I've been in that situation to where it could have been me. It was almost me several times in my life. It could almost be me again next week. I'm not gonna get into a whole story right now because we're running over, but when I worked undercover security, I caught a kid stealing, and the fucking cop believed him when I worked for the company. Well, he said he didn't do anything. You want to watch the tape? I got him doing it. He said you hit him in the face. You want to watch the tape? You can see where I didn't hit him.
Yeah, we can't even go to work. Actually, it just popped up in my memories from this time last year. You probably remember when I was bugging everybody about DirecTV, but I was working out of a Sam's Club. And at the time, I'd been there for about 4 months. And I got a report from management that I had to stop bringing my work bag inside, which had my skirt, a couple flyers, like just other random related stuff, an iPad that I did my job off of, because there were concerns that I was hoarding weapons in the store. I had already been there for 4 months. Again, it just popped up. I almost reshared it. I don't know why I didn't, but like I was reading it. It was like 2-3 days ago. I was like, yeah, so management told me I can't bring my bag in anymore because there's concern I have weapons on me. And I was dressed mostly like this, shirt, tie, because that was the dress code for the job at the time. I didn't even have all this hair. It was a nice short cut. We're not even allowed to just exist without someone assuming.
Michael Che said it best. Then he said, Black Lives Matter. Can we just say Black Lives exist? Can we just have that?
Yeah, matters the minimum.
Right.
It
hurts.
It's crazy.
But yeah, be sure to know, for anybody that's listening to this, in the Black community, we got y'all. If you ever need anybody that's involved with this project, all you have to do is reach out and we'll talk to you. We'll listen. We'll be there. If you need somebody to pick you up at the police station, you need somebody to show up because you're being pulled over. Most of the people that are listening to this, y'all know how to get a hold of me. Y'all know how to get a hold of D. Y'all know how to get a hold of Cajun. And soon you'll be able to reach Earl through his information and stuff as well. That'll be attached to this podcast and this video that we do later.
We're not done. This isn't it.
This ain't it. We're not done. We've got plenty more stories to sell. We got plenty more people to talk to. We're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep bringing these stories to everybody. We want y'all to listen. We want y'all to hear. And we want to be, and we need to be heard. These are the stories that need to be told.
We want to speak for ourselves.
Right.
For that matter, without.
Right. I wanted.
Everything #BLM doesn't necessarily mean it's something the three of us or anyone we know are trying to say. And that's
right.
kind of what we prefaced earlier.
And the biggest thing, without trying to be too overly morbid, I want these stories told before something potentially happens to any one of us. I want people to know the people behind the story before that story is spun the way they want it to be. I want to know that if anything happens to me, these are the stories y'all are listening to. This is the voice you hear, not what the media paints me as, not what the police paint me as, not what the police paint Cajun as, not what the media paints him as. Same with D. We want you to know that these are our voices, these are our stories. Whoever is involved with this project, these are our voices, these are our stories. You need to hear it from us, not from anybody else, and you need to hear it the way it happened.
And bottom line, we don't get in trouble.
Right.
I stay out of the way.
Right.
Like I I avoid
Right.
police at all costs. I mind my business. I go to work. I come home. I spend time with my lady. I play my video games.
Real
Work on my
talk.
car.
And
I just mind my business. So if anybody ever says anything like, God forbid anything happened to me before it's time, but if anybody ever try to say anything, D did this and he said that, like, no, it's a fucking lie, because I don't live my life that way.
Right.
My goal every day I wake up is to be the best person I can be that day.
Any altercations the three of us have had with the cops has been outside of our control, for the most part.
Yeah, that's what it is for. That's what it's like for a lot of us.
I know you're trying to wrap up, but I have to say something.
Oh,
Especially with the not getting in trouble thing.
you got 7 minutes.
7 minutes. All right, I'll make it super fast. We all know what kind of relationship I just got out of last year that culminated with me going to jail. And I'm gonna tell you guys something I haven't told anybody. I told David this. I haven't told anybody else while I was getting bucked in. And there was an officer, and we were talking. I explained the entire situation to him. Might as well just say it because I'm talking about it. So I was dating someone who had a drunk driving problem. I showed up one evening to the bar where I knew she was on her expired license while she was drinking, and I took her car keys. That led to the police being called and my eventual arrest a few weeks later on assault charges and things of that nature from taking her car keys. The officer who booked me in, and he had a nice long conversation with me, he apologized to me for the situation. He was a white guy. I will never forget this day for the rest of my life. And he said to me, exact words, "For someone that looks like you, it does not always pay to try to do the right thing." This was a police officer who put me in handcuffs saying those words to me, and I will never forget that for the rest of my life, ever.
That's real
So
talk.
we gotta mind our own fucking business now.
Real talk.
I mean,
We shouldn't have to, but that means, and you know, 5 minutes. All right. The most,
no, I had to. I'm sorry.
No, you good, you good.
Man, it just.
you good. The most fucked up thing about that entire situation is the three people that have been talking to you guys this entire show have three of the biggest save the world complexes I've ever met. The three of us want to help people when we can, but we can't do that all the time as black men because we look like the bad guy.
I'm literally a fucking superhero who just like has been forced to stay home.
Right. Bro, I'm the Luke Cage of Northeast Ohio. How the hell do you think I feel?
Man, he got video. I'm trying so hard not to cry on this man's video camera.
Bro, I teared up with the George Floyd thing. I get it. So, in wrapping up this episode, I want to say I appreciate you two brothers for coming on and telling your stories.
Thank you, man.
I know we have more stories to be told, and there's more for us to get out. We could talk for days about this shit. The one major thing I want to say is thank you all for listening. This, I believe, I'm going to start season 2 of Perception Blurred with this because I did 20 episodes of season 1. I think we're going to jump into season 2 with this. This will be the start, the jump off, and we're going to try to keep pumping out content at least every week. I don't know if it's always going to be storyteller stuff or if it's going to be, obviously it won't be all like the stuff with ESC AV right now. We are going to be working on that though and getting some stuff together with Earl and the D Harris brand, and we're going to be getting into touch with the Flock Productions, my cousins, and all of them. We're going to be doing some stuff with them too. But the biggest thing I want to say before we end this, to end on a note of absolute righteous anger, today's a good fucking day to arrest the cops that killed Breonna Taylor.
Absolutely.
Y'all fired the dude, lock his ass up. It ain't that difficult. Don't understand what the problem is. No knock warrants are bullshit. You don't do them to anybody that you need to do them to. Stop fucking with us. Oh, and one more thing, Black Lives Matter.